Here we're going to graph absolute value of x. So absolute value of x is the same as minus x. If x is less than 0, it is a slope, negative slope, and it is x if x is greater than 0. So that's the absolute value of x. So to graph this, there is two ways you can graph this. So one way is you go to math, numbers, and choose absolute value, so that's the function. Then simply just put x, and we'll make the window x from -4 to 4, and the y value from -1 to 4. To 4. Okay, then simply graph. Here is the absolute value of x. Okay, alternatively you can also graph it y equals, it is minus x, and this is valid for x less than 0. Second math, less than 0, and it is x and this is valid for x greater than 0, equal or greater than 0. Okay, so it is minus x when x is less than 0, it is x when x is greater or equal to 0. Then do simply graph, you will get the same graph. Okay, we'll graph this function. This function is f of x, 2 minus x if x is less or equal to 0. It is f of x is x minus 5 when x is greater than 0. So this is a negative slope function when x is less than 0, less or equal. If it is a positive slope function, x minus 5 when x is greater than 0. Okay, so it is open parenthesis 2 minus x, and this is valid for x less than 0, less or equal to 0. Second math, less or equal to 0. And the second function is open parenthesis, it is x minus 5 and this is valid for x greater, open parenthesis, x greater than 0. Okay, so it is 2 minus x for x less or equal to 0. It is x minus 5 for x greater than 0. Okay, and we'll adjust the window from -6 to 6, the x values, and the y values will adjust it from -6 to 6 again. -6 to 6. Okay, then graph. Here are the functions. Okay, so here this whole means there is no equal sign here, so that means the 0 is not included in this function. So that's what that whole is. Okay. Then here we have a function f of a piecewise function if it is negative 3 for x less than minus 3, and it is positive constant 2 for x greater than 2, and it is between minus 3 and 2. It is a linear function x. Okay, so it is minus 3, so open parenthesis, minus 3, a constant minus 3, and this is valid for x second math less or equal to minus 3. Minus 3. Okay, and it is equal to x, and this is valid when x is minus 3 is less than x second math less than x, and x is second math logic, and x is less than 3. Less than 2. So that is x is between minus 3 and 2. Okay, then it is 2, a constant 2, and this is valid for x greater or equal to 2. Second math greater or equal to 2. Okay, so make sure your entries are correct. It is minus 3 if x is less or equal to 3. It is x when x is between minus 3 and 2, and it is constant 2 if x is greater or equal to 2. And we'll adjust the window from minus 4 to x from minus 6 to 6, and y from minus 4 to 4. Okay, so x from minus 6 to 6 and y from minus 4 to 4, and simply graph. There is a graph. Okay. And here is another absolute value. So this is absolute value of x shifted down by 5. So it is absolute value of x shifted down by 5. So it is absolute value of x minus 5. This can be written as piecewise function minus x minus 5 if x is less than 0, or it is x minus 5 if x is greater or equal to 0. So the first entry is, well, first you can graph this as, go to math, number, absolute value, call the absolute value function of x minus 5. Okay, let's adjust the window from minus 6 to 6 and from minus 6, the y value from minus 6 to 2. Okay, graph. Here is the function. Alternatively, you can do it is minus x, open parenthesis, minus x minus 5, and this is valid for x less than 0, math less than 0, or it is also minus x minus 5, and this is valid for x greater or equal to 0. Math. Okay. So it is minus x minus 5 for x less than 0. It is x minus 5 for x greater or equal to 0. And graph, you should get the same function. Okay. So the next one is, it is minus x for x less than 1, and it is 3x plus 1 for x greater or equal to 1. Okay. This whole means, again, there is no equal sign here. That means the 1 is not included in this part of the function. Okay. So it is open parenthesis minus x, close it, and this time I'm going to use divide, open parenthesis, x, second math, less than one. Okay. And it is open parenthesis 3x plus 1, and this is valid divide, and this is valid for x second math greater or equal to 1. Okay, make sure your entries are correct. It is minus x for x less than 1, and it is 3x plus 1 for x greater or equal to 1. So now this division, this divide is, it is used, many people use this. It will work, but it is just unnecessary additional work. So you don't have to put this divide. So you can put it, but if you don't put it, it will work. So adding it is just unnecessary additional work. Okay. So now let's look at the window. We're going to go from minus 6 to 6 for x, and for y we're going to go from minus 2 to 10. Okay, so now the graph. So here is the function. Okay, it works with the division, but it's just unnecessary additional work. You don't have to do the division. Okay, clear? So this is step function, piecewise function f of x equals 3x when x is less than minus 1. It is x, so that's a positive slope. It is x when x is between minus 1 and 3, and it is 2 minus x, the negative slope, when x is greater than 3. So it is 3x and this is valid, open parenthesis, when x is less than 1. Second math, less than 1 is 5 minus 1. Okay, and it is x and this is valid for x between minus 1 and 3, so that is minus 1 is less than x, less than x, and the x is second math, logic, and the x is greater than and the x is less than 3. Less than 3. Okay. Then it is 2 minus x and this is valid when x is greater or equal to greater than 3. Okay, so it is 3x if x is less than minus 1, and it is x if x is between minus 1 and 3, and it is 2 minus x if x is greater or equal to 3. Again, this whole means the x, that this value is not included in this part of the function, which is less. It is not less or equal. Again, here it is whole. This whole means the x value, this x value, which is 3, is not included in this graph, this part of the graph. Okay, so make sure your entries are correct. Then now let's adjust the window. So the window is from minus 6 to 6 for x, and for y it's from minus 6 to 4. Minus 6 to 4. Okay, then simply graph. And here is the function. Okay,
Please subscribe, watch, like, share to my 4 education channels. Links are below in the description. Interacting with each of my students in the classroom and outside classroom is what I enjoy the most. I am strong believer on setting up individuals for success. Throughout my career, I always have done my very best to set up my students for success. Now, I want to do the same at youtube.com and share with you what I shared with my students for many years. You can help me a lot just by subscribe to my 4 education channels. Please, subscribe, watch, like, share, link below in the description. Channel 1, Business Calculus and Finance Tutorials, Osman Anwar. Channel 2, Calculus 2 and 1, AP Calculus Tutorials, Osman Anwar. Channel 3, Trigonometry Geometry, Pre-Calc, Tutorials, Osman Anwar. Channel 4, College and Intermediate Algebra / DMAT and Algebra 2 and 1, Osman Anwar.